Barack Obama yesterday said that the free market is a license to steal. A license to steal. A license to steal. This from the guy who has stolen as much wealth from the private sector as he can under the guise of stimulus spending. No, not personally. I don't mean he's enriched himself. I mean he's enriched his ideology. The Democrat Party has grown government. He is stealing from you and from me each and every day. Being president is what's a license to steal. Being a committee chairman is what's a license to steal. You really want to start comparing corruption, the highest levels of government, to the private sector? Have the people of this country decided that they all of a sudden now want to give up on their dreams of wealth and prosperity for themselves and their kids? Is that gone? Majority of Americans now just want to sit around and wait for whatever crumbs are redistributed from Barack Obama and his compassionate band of bureaucrats. Government has the license to steal. Government gets to steal, and it's not even called a crime. It's called liberalism, communism, socialism, Marxism, and they don't want any competition. They don't want anybody able to steal the money but themselves. Obama's people, the Occupy Wall Street crowd, heard his clarion call yesterday all across the country. They decided to start moving into houses, just taking them over, giving these foreclosed houses to their leaders. Just take it. You're entitled. You're entitled. You're an American. You don't have anything. That's not fair. So if you see something you want, go take it. It's unfair somebody else has it and you don't. If you want it, go take it. We have a president of the United States who now endorses that very way of thinking. Here's Boone Pickens. He was on MSNBC this morning on Scarborough's show. They had a discussion about Obama's speech. Scarborough said, you have a question about the president's speech? What's your question about it?
The president's confusing me. Every time he's on TV, he says that the rich should pay their fair share. I don't know what fair share is. That's what's bothered me. I always want to be fair. And historically, I've been a very fair guy. I'm 83. I still go to work in the morning at 8 o'clock. I have 150 people work for me. And someplace in here, I feel like I'm letting the country down.
No, you don't feel like you're letting the country down, Boone. You're being told that you're letting the country down. You're being told that it's unfair. You're being told that you are behaving improperly. Scarborough said, well, you know, Warren Buffett pays like 18%, 17% of what he makes in taxes. Is that fair? Should he pay 35%? What should he pay?
After I was 70 years old, I paid $665 million in taxes. Is that fair?
I don't know how much you made, Mr. Pickens. Why don't you give me the full numbers?
You feel like I'm not paying my fair share after $665 million and I'm over 70 years old.
Sir, with all due respect,
that's pretty good.
On what you make. Well,
depends on what you make. With all due respect, sir, it depends on what you make. Our good old buddies at NBC. Boone Pickens, $665 million in taxes in the last 13 years, just since he turned 70. Not enough. Not enough to determine whether or not it was fair, see, because we don't know how much he made. And unless he admits how much he made, then we can't possibly determine whether or not it's fair. In other words, he may have to pay more. Just so these slubs on this worthless network can be satisfied. So, yeah, it would. If here's the thing about it. You know, if you were going to give a hate-filled, lie-filled, class warfare speech attacking the foundations of the American system, from which, by the way, if you're Obama, you benefit like few others in history have. And by the way, Mr. President, you haven't contributed a damn thing to this country's prosperity, but you are sure benefiting from it, but you haven't contributed an iota. It would at least be helpful, Mr. President, if you would get your straw men and your propaganda straight. May I call you Barack? You can't have rugged individualism and socialism. Let me see if I can explain this, Mr. President, in a way that you can understand. Something cannot be an apple and a walnut at the same time. Point is, you don't believe in rugged individualism. You believe in massive government. But he said during the speech, rugged individualism. He said, I'm all for it, but that it doesn't work. Look around you, Mr. President. That suit that you're wearing, the tie, those shoes, the pens that you use to sign all these executive orders, your 2 Boeing 747s, lavishly furnished, all of those helicopters, the limousines that you drive around in, all of which you use to excess. The fuel that is used by all of these modes of transportation, none of it, sir, none of it was produced by your precious government. None of it. You played 88 rounds of golf this year. Those golf clubs, golf balls, golf clubs, all the other equipment, the hot dogs you eat at basketball games, the hamburgers, when you have your Meet the Common Man photo ops, none of it produced by the government, Mr. President. And you, sir, are not capable of helping to produce any of it yourself. You are a sponge.